Come on now. Get back up. Don't waddle in it. Don't you know that God said that the righteous falls down 7 times, but they get back up? What the devil wants you to do, what the enemy wants you to do, is to waddle in what you have fallen in. But the thing is, God said he will meet you where you are. God said if you're coming to him with a broken heart, right? And a contrite spirit, there he is, waiting on you to grab his hand, because guaranteed he gonna pull you up out of it. His rod and his staff, it comforts you. It does. Don't you know that God has calculated that you're going to fall short some kind of way? Because God said if any man say that he is without sin, God said that what? He's a liar. He's a liar. She's a liar. Ain't nobody perfect. That's why God said our own righteousness is still as filthy rags. So don't allow the enemy to get you to step into a space of self-righteousness, to make you think that it's you that makes you righteous. That's why God said it's through his grace and through his faith that we are saved, so that we won't take the credit. So whenever you find yourself slipping, or if you have found yourself have gone back to what you used to do, God is still with open arms for you. He is. Don't ever let nobody tell you that you gotta be perfect, because it ain't no such thing. Ain't no such thing. Because you think you can pray and say, oh God, forgive me for the sins that I've committed. What about the sins you don't know you have committed? Self-righteous people think that they have calculated all their sins. They say, oh, I did this on Monday. Let me ask God forgive. So I'm covered. I cleared everything. But there are some things that we do that we don't even know that is sinful, that it is considered sin in God's eyes. So what happens when you don't know about those things? It's through God's grace, through his faith. In other words, through his son, Jesus Christ, through his redemption, that allows us to come into God's righteousness, so that we'll be able to be presented before God. That's why it says what? It is God, it is Jesus that does what? Keeps us from falling and presents us faultless before the glory. Keeping us from falling doesn't mean we're not going to fall. It means keeping us from going to hell, because God never designed it for you or me. Hell was designed for who? The devil and those that follow him. God never designed hell to be our final destination. Never designed it. So when you fall, you're going to get back up. Don't waddle in it. Ain't nobody judging you. I ain't judging you. I'm not. Because God said his grace is sufficient. If God's grace is sufficient for me, guess what? It's sufficient for you. So don't let nobody compare sins. That's what goes on when people try to make you feel condemned, or even when you try to condemn yourself. That's you comparing sin to sin. No such thing as comparing sin to sin. Sin is just sin. So if you told a little lie, sin. If you murder somebody, sin. Both of y'all gonna walk in hand in hand going to hell. I'm being honest with you. But it's only through God's grace. So don't condemn yourself. Don't be over there and waddle in what has happened. Because God said the righteous falls down. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? 7 times. I don't know why I said it in Spanish, but God said the righteous fall down 7 times. But they get back up. That Donna McClurkin song, we fall down, but we get up. You gotta get up. God's hand is not too short. I did a golden nugget about that. Y'all remember? God said his hand is not too short for you, which means what? He will come and get you. He is a living and true God that knows your location. He's just waiting on you to say, God, help me up. And then what happens? His angels come. Why? Because God said what? His angels will hold us up with their hands lest we dash our foot against the what? The stone. God is the one that will hold us up. So don't count yourself out. Don't count yourself doomed. That's what the enemy is looking forward to, because he wants your soul. But you better tell him that he is a liar, because your soul belongs to the who? The creator, to God. And as long as you say, God, my soul belongs to you. God, I present my body as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto you, which is my reasonable service. God, I belong to you. Then God gonna make sure you covered. So don't feel bad. Just have a repentant state of mind. Which means what? You have a mind not to do that again. And as long as you say, God, my mind is that I don't want that path. I don't want to go that way again. Lord, order my steps. Then guess what's going to start happening? Your steps will be ordered because God sees that you're changing your mind about a thing. See, to just say that, God, forgive me, but not change your mind about the situation, you go back and do the same thing over and over and over and over. That's not a repentant state of mind, which means what? You're still in a state of sin. Which means what? You're creating iniquity in your life. And when you are in a state of iniquity, God said what? He's far from you. He said it is the iniquity that separates you from him. So as long as you keep a repentant state of mind, and God knows that, hey, my mind is made up, that God, I do not want to do that anymore. Lord, you know my heart is postured towards you. So Lord, please help me, guide me, lead me, show me. For you said you'll teach me and instruct me in the ways that I should go, and you will guide me with your eye. God, I need you and nothing else to get me through this. And when God sees that your mindset is in a repentant state, which means you're serious about this thing, then you'll see how God will begin to clean you up. All because what? You changed the way you were thinking. You begin to separate yourself from things that were pulling you towards it. Because truth be told, sometimes the only thing we really do need to do is just separate ourselves from certain people, from certain places, from certain things. Stop watching certain TV shows. Stop listening to certain music, right? It's just that simple. Certain things we can cut it out like that. But there are some things that no matter what you do, you still need help. And God said, what? Now it's time to pray. Now it's time to fast. Ask God to lead you through this thing. And trust me, when God sees that you're coming to him as a child, because that's how he told us to come to him as children, because that's letting him know that we have humbled ourselves, understanding that we are nothing without him, understanding that he is our Father, that we come to him for everything, which means what? We're not playing idol. We're not looking to no other idols. We're not. We're only looking to the true and living God, God himself, through his son, Jesus Christ. That's what we're doing. And when God sees that, God got you. And you will know it. You'll see things around you start to change. All because what? You changed this up here. So listen, don't beat yourself up. The righteous fall down 7 times and get back up. So I'm here to tell you, as your sister, get up, brother. Get up. I know you slipped. I know you didn't mean to do it. I know you really didn't want to do it. Ain't nobody perfect. God sees your heart. Here's my hand. Get up out of that thing. Sister, God still loves you. Get up out of that thing. Don't let your past hold you hostage. That ain't who you are. Y'all hear me? Your past isn't who you are. So no longer be a hostage. God said you are his. You belong to him. What did he say? I know the thoughts I think towards you. They are of peace and not of evil. He has a plan for you, right? To prosper you and to give you an expected end, a future and a hope. So listen to what God is saying about you, not the past, because that's not who you are. So get up out of that. Get on up. You still good. What did God tell the woman who they found committing adultery? They were pointing the finger at her. And God drew a line, in other words, in the sand. He was writing down like, now come on here. Jesus was like, they know what they've been doing. I can list everything they've been doing. And God said, those of you who are without sin, cast the first stone. And all of them had to leave. God did not condemn that young lady. He did not. You know what he told her? Go, be free. Sin no more. Don't sin no more. Don't do that anymore. In other words, change your mindset. He said, go and sin no more. And that's what I'm telling you. Get up. Now go and sin no more. And don't let it cross your mind that God does not love you. Don't let it cross your mind that you're being judged, okay? Because God tells us to judge righteously. And the right way to judge when we see our brother and sister that have fallen down, God said those who are meek, those who have strength. God said, what? Hold them up. Hold them up. Pray for them. Unless we find ourselves what? In the same temptation. So I'm here to judge righteously, which is what? That God's grace is sufficient. Sister, brother, you good. Get on up. Brush yourself off. Get it off your shoulder. Brush it out your mind, right? Shake it off. Pack it under your feet. Get it a little higher. Change your thinking and move forward. I hope y'all got it, but if you didn't, listen. Rewind this thing and watch again. But in the meantime, in between time, if you take just a little bit of what I'm telling you and apply it to your life to the best of your ability, you won't ever have to mess a smile. Why? Because your smiles will always be genuine, okay? Remember, the righteous falls down 7 times, but they do get back up. So get on up. God got your back. He loves you too. And I love you. Y'all be blessed.